Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Club. My name is Joe Shoup, and with our special guest, Dawn Clifton. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and we're joined by our manager, Shirley Pitts. Good morning, Shirley.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Shirley.
All right, we're gonna get ready to do this. First of all, Dawn, thanks for being with us today, and thanks for the offering to help people. And of course, that's what we're about, helping people, right?
Sure. Thank you. My pleasure.
Yep. I want to just tell you that Saturday was a phenomenal training. For a lot of people watching this or will watch this on YouTube, you did a phenomenal job on Saturday teaching people about MobiCard. And for those that do not know what MobiCard is, it's one of the projects that we here at Kula Brands have helped through our crowdfunding site. So, but it was really a good basic training for those that did not know what they were doing. And I included, got some education out of that. So thank you for doing that. You did a phenomenal job. I think Shirley will agree.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I love sharing about our projects. I think they're amazing projects. So yeah, any questions?
Okay, so today Dawn is going to share some basics on Facebook for those that really don't know how to operate on Facebook. Well, first, we're going to cover a few things. And Dawn, if you saw the email that went out today, I'm sure you did. And one of the problems that I have encountered over 22 years in this industry is constantly I hear teachers and gurus, and I hear, you know, the inspirational speakers and coaches, and they're all talking about a why. Now, I know we've had this on many times and talked about why. A why to me that I was taught many years ago is called a CCMP, a clear, concise mental picture of the thing that you want to attain. It's called a CCMP, and it has to be written down. Once you get that clear mental picture of it, once you think about it, once you establish what that is, it needs to be written down. And the second part of that is that there needs to be, when you have that clear, concise picture of what you want, and I keep using this word what, because it's the what that has to come before the why. And most people don't know that. And I can tell you now, we did a study a couple of years back, and we were trying to find out how many people had a clear why where they were doing their business. And there were people who said, well, I want to make money. But I can tell you that over 90% of the couple hundred people that we interviewed in this industry did not have a clear, concise mental picture of the thing they wanted to attain. They didn't know why they were working the business other than they wanted to make money. And some said, I wanted to help some people. But see, that is not enough motivation to have someone go to work and complete tasks. If people listened to Jeff Hoffman's training on Saturday, clearly what he said was, what I'm about to tell you, 99% of the people won't be doing it. Now, I don't want to tell you something. This is a multi-billionaire who understands those numbers. And that's why this industry is where it is. 98%, 97% aren't making any money. Why? Because they won't do what it takes, and they don't know what to do. And even when they find out, you know, you've been through the communication class, the networking communication class, and you are one of the people who are following. You are following up. You're in that small percentage of people. Even having that class, people still fall into the mediocre category. I was taught a long time ago that most people are addicted to being mediocre. And that's what Jeff was saying. He didn't use those words, but he was saying 99% won't do it. And the answer to that why for them is because they're just addicted to that mediocre stage. Yes, for a few days, all those inspirational talks, and go to these classes, and everything's about motivation. Get yourself in order. You're gonna do this. It's gonna be, you're the one. Think of yourself as a winner. All that stuff is great. It's all wonderful. But if you don't know what to do, that doesn't make any difference. So we go down that road of the why. Why are you doing the business? So I think the key to people understanding that is first they have to understand what it is they have to do. So let's just take an example, Dawn. Let's just say someone decides to join us at Cooler Brands. They love the idea. The first thing that people want to know is, what do you want me to do and how much are you going to pay me to do it? Now, I give you an example of some whys that work. You have to have emotion behind. Once again, I go back to the survey we did and found out that most people didn't have a why. At least they didn't have a legitimate why that had an emotional attachment. So let me explain what I mean by emotional attachment. One of the people specifically that I helped and worked with was a woman who had an autistic son. She was the woman, the mother, was extremely introverted. She went through my class about 4 or 5 times. Her motivation was to make sure that her son was taken care of, that she had enough money to send him to special schools and so on. That is emotional. To say, I just want to make $100,000 a year there's no attachment to that. Yep, you have a goal, but that's not an emotional goal. To say, I want a new car next year, well, kind of, but if you dreamed of having a brand new Corvette, Mustang, or Mercedes or whatever, and you've spent your whole life wanting that car, and it was really a desire to have the car, and you finally say, wow, now I can see how to make $60,000, $70,000, $100,000 a year and get that car. That's an emotional attachment. Maybe going on the dream vacation and planning for it, and you want to do it by next year, or you want to go, maybe you're a tennis fan and you want to go to the French Open, which you've never been to. That's an emotional attachment. But to just say, well, I want it because, or I think I want to help some people, doesn't work. It never works. So the why, though, is in front. It's kind of like putting the cart before the horse. What people need to establish is the what it is they want to do, because then you can tie the why to it. But most people are taught over and over again, you've got to come up with a why. Now you've joined Cooler Brands. So why are you doing this? Let's get to work on the why. Well, I say that they're missing the first step. The first thing is you have to establish what it is you're going to do in Cooler Brands before you can establish the why of it. So if you decided to join, that's one thing. You decided to work, but what it is you're going to work on is the most critical part. So let me break it down. When one starts in any company, and for this example, we'll use Cooler Brands. That person needs a plan. I remember a convention we went to, and a very prominent world-renowned speaker and author was there, and he spoke in the first time, and he said, first thing I want to do is ask some questions in the audience. Do you want to ask me anything before I begin? We had his background into it, and somebody said to him, well, if you joined our company, what would you do first? And he thought for about 30 seconds, and then he said, here's what I would do. I would take the next 4 weeks, and I would study this company. I would see what tools were available. I would see what we had to offer. And then I would write a game plan and get to work. Most people want you to start writing names down and calling people without any knowledge of what to say, do, or anything about your company. And then they say, well, don't worry about it. Just get on the phone and put me on the phone. Just get them on the phone and put them on with me. And what we find out is those people don't have a clue either.
Right.
The directors. Right. So the important thing is to, when you register with Cooler Brands, is to find out what it is you need to do. Now, if you went to welcometocoolerbrands.com, you would see some questions there that the person who has registered, the first thing they have to do is answer some questions for themselves, and maybe to the sponsor who helped them, just so they can help them stay on track. And that first question is, you know, do you intend to pledge on products? Then it's, do you intend to and help the inventors? Do you intend to build a company? And it goes down the list of 4 or 5 things. So they have to establish what it is they're going to do before they can establish the why of it. So if we break this down in the beginning and say, well, what is it that I need to do? Well, probably anybody could do something for one day and then break it into 2 weeks and 3 weeks and a month and finally into quarters and into a year. But the first thing we need to establish, so those that are listening and will listen should have a goal set for 30 days. What is it that I need to do in the next 30 days to create income and to grow my business? If you are in the mode of saying, I want income and I want to grow the business, it's okay in the beginning not to have a why you're doing it. I can tell you, Dawn, I spent roughly a couple of years trying to figure out my why. I just didn't have an emotional attachment. I left a career. I sold a business after 18 years of being in business and just was introduced to this industry. And I didn't know, you know, why I wanted to do it. I sold my business. I lost that daily routine. I didn't lose it, but I gave it away. I sold it. And here I was in a brand new industry. I just wanted to make more money. Did it motivate me? Well, I don't know. I had to learn the business first. But then I was fortunate enough to be with people who said, hey, you gotta set a plan on what you're going to do here. Let me give you some examples. So I did, and I followed plans of breaking down into days, weeks, months, years. So the first thing that I say today that one needs to establish is, what are you going to do? What are you going to accomplish in the next 30 days? What would you like to do? Do you want to sell restaurants on MobiCard? Do you want to recruit 5 people? Do you want to influence a couple of people? What is it you need to do? And in the meantime, during these times, you now have to break it down into, okay, that's what I want. Let's say that you want to bring 2 new people and introduce them to Kula Brands as team members, as community members, and you want to bring them into the company. Well, now you have to figure out, well, how am I going to do it? You might not even have a why yet. It might be because I just want to make money. But for 30 days, you could at least do that without a why. So then you have to go to, where am I going to do it? Where would I actually work? Where would I sit down and do my work? And what work am I going to? Am I going to call people? Am I going to go see people? And what am I going to say to them? This is a big deal, Dawn, as you know. I'm going to let you comment on this right now about what we're talking about and the importance of that what and how and where and when I'm going to do this. Establishing a game plan. So let's make some comments on that. And Shirley, you can pitch into this as well. I just want to establish that we understand that most people don't have a why yet. They don't have that emotional attachment.
Yeah, I think it's crucial. And most people coming into this business, right? We have to read it. This is my business now. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to bring in my income so I can stay home with my kids for whatever reason. So I think that's really, really important. Set the goals, just like you would in any workplace environment. You know, set your goals. What's your to-do list? You know, what do you need to have accomplished in the next month, 2 months, 3 months? What does that look like? I think that's really great. Your class, for me, I know most people haven't taken it. I understand that, and I'm not trying to, speak to that, but I know for me, that gave me the how. Because all along the past 20 years, I've heard you need to do this, but nobody filled in that missing puzzle piece of, well, how do I do that? They didn't know. They just told me what they were told, what they were told, what they were told. Well, you got to get me on a 3-way. Well, how do I get them to join a 3-way? They don't want to join a 3-way. I can't get them on the phone with you. So what do I do now? Well, you just have to let them go because they don't want to join. Well, no, I'm not buying that. You know, it was nuts. But anyway.
So how's your confidence now? Now, like I know this morning we talked and you visited some businesses, you talked to some people, you got some successes, you got some rejections. So how is it now to be able to walk into a place realizing that what you know what it is you need to do now?
It's a 180 turnaround. It's crazy, the difference of just that little piece of knowing what to say to people and knowing ahead of time they may object to this. That's okay. If they do object, this is what I'm going to say. If they have a question, because they're bound to have questions, if they have a question, this is what I'm going to say. And just knowing that going in makes a world of difference. A world of difference.
Oh, absolutely. That fear just, let me read something. I wrote this down. I'm a big fan of writing quotes down. This actually came off a movie. And I want to give the credit to the movie, but I'm a softie for family movies. I love family movies that have a message. Let me see if I can. And this it's funny because we talk about people don't follow people, they follow courage. So as soon as I heard this thing about courage, I kept playing it back and writing it down. But that's what we teach in the class is people don't follow people, they follow courage. If you have enough courage to learn what it is you need to learn, to do what Dawn just said and be able to answer questions and be able to expect that you're going to get people who are going to say, no, I don't want this, and know what to say. Have enough courage to say, sure, that's no problem. And then be able to use some form of the script to say, hey, well, here's where we are now. And that's okay. Most people wouldn't know how to get out of that. That's a key thing. It's not just knowing how to get into the conversation. How about getting out of it when you need to?
Yes.
See, most people have never been taught that. I promise you, if I asked any calls that I do calls for some other companies, and if I asked them on a line like this and said, look, would you be willing to step forward right now? We'll unlock your microphone, and I will be the customer, the potential business partner, and I'll talk to you and ask you questions. Would you be willing to open up your line and be subject to that? And I promise you, I never get anybody to open the line, but I'm not doing that today. But I'm just saying that the reason they don't is because of fear. They don't know how to respond. And for those that know how to respond, that have been through the class, they've got all the questions, all the answers, and they're comfortable now because they're not going to get stumped. If you have enough courage to sit down and learn these things and then utilize them, all the fear disappears. Well, let me tell you what they said about courage. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something else is more important than fear. The brave may not live forever, but the cautious do not live at all. So right now, you are traveling the road between who you think you are and who you can be. The key is to allow yourself to make the journey. If you don't journey down the road of education and knowledge and learn this stuff, I don't care what program is in place, you're never going to be comfortable. You're always going to have that fear. There's nothing that's going to take its place, and you're going to get discouraged. So, we have got to get knowledgeable, get educated enough to make that happen. So my message today on my part is to don't focus so much on your why. You'll figure out your why. You'll come up with, oh my gosh, it might be a month, 2 months, 3 months from now that says, oh my gosh, there's a cause that I want to help. There's something I want to do. That's my why. I really do want to help. Not just, oh, I want to go help people, but wow, a specific thing that says, I want to help. Hey, maybe it's those children those people in Cambodia, like our new project. Maybe it's that. Who knows? Maybe that becomes a why for some people. But I think people struggle with the why, and the important thing is the what, and then the why, and the when, and the where, and and how. So that's my message today. So
my important thing is how. I have to learn how to overcome fear. I'm starting to learn that because of your classes. That's
Yeah.
a lot of it.
Well, let's move on, Dawn. I want to turn this over to you. We promised people that there's a lot of people out there that even though we have videos, we have educational training. I can tell you now, I got so many phone calls after your Saturday call about how efficient you were, how emphatic the instruction was, and how your tone, your whole, aura there, the way you presented it, people were excited. So that's why we want you back and want you to be a part of an educational team that helps people, because I think you have a way with teaching people and those people understanding what you're saying. And that's a rare trait, to be perfectly honest with you. So let's talk about Facebook and, what a person needs. Now, look, a lot of people aren't educated. They want to get in, make phone calls, and then they stumble and all that. But there is a tool here. There's an avenue to travel. One of those avenues is Facebook. One of the, let's call it social media, not just Facebook, but other things. But today, let's just focus on some basics and walk us through some examples and what you think a new person should be doing who's really not educated on Facebook and they need to learn the purpose of it and the thing. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. So let me share my screen. Turn off my camera here. Let me share my screen and I'll get into Facebook. And let me know when you can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
We do.
Okay, do you see my Facebook page?
I do.
This is my wall, if you will.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that everyone watching or listening or viewing this later has at least a Facebook account. Okay, we're just going to start there. And this is going to be extremely basic. Okay, so people who are watching who already are active on Facebook, they know all the ins and outs, they're posting, they're doing this, that, and the other. They have a group page, they have a fan page. This is going to be very, very elementary. I'm just going to let you know that ahead of time. Joe had asked me to just do a very basic walkthrough of Facebook because there are a lot of people who don't know anything about Facebook. They don't know how to post. They don't know what to do and where to go once they get here. So that's what I want to kind of focus on today, and we can get into more in-depth training, at later times. But so for right now, when you first log into Facebook, called a newsfeed, everyone that you follow, every group you're a part of, everyone you're friends with, you are going to see their posts, okay? And it's all going to be here in a feed. All right. So from here, you can go to your own, this is your area, okay? This is where you see where your friends are, who you're friends with. This is your timeline. This is where I would post, okay? So I'll just start with a simple post. Let me grab a picture here. Bear with me just a second. Let me see if I have some other. Okay, so this is really good. This is something that someone shared. I believe it was Scott Bland. So I'll just share this. So I grabbed a picture. Okay, did you see that? So I click photo here. You can add a photo or a video. So I took a photo here. This is my computer, okay? And this is just an area of my computer where I have some pictures. Okay, simple as that. So I just selected one and I clicked open, and then that brought me here to this actual post that I'm creating, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just gonna, he's already got a lot of text here in this picture that you'll see in a minute. So I'm just gonna tag Kula Brands. And this is very important to put, it's called a hashtag, okay? And it's very important to put a hashtag because when someone clicks on the hashtag, they can see all of the posts that us in the community have done with the same hashtag. So if they want to know what this is, what is Kula Brands? What does that mean? They can click on this hashtag, which I'll show you in just a second, and they'll find out more about it. Okay, we're also doing Jeff Hoffman for a lot of things. I won't do that here, but then we're doing Mentored by the Best. okay, because we're mentored by the best, Jeff Hoffman. And so we're kind of including these hashtags in any post that we do to really get momentum going, get some exposure, get some communication between our posts and things like that. So we're just kind of all collaborating and doing the same hashtags on everything we do. Okay, I can answer questions in a little bit. So when I do a post, typically it defaults to my friends, anybody in my friends list. When I'm talking about Kula Brands or Jeff Hoffman or a project that we're doing or a product that I'm trying to sell or what have you, I'm going to make that public. So if you just click on the friends drop down here, you can make that public. And that's very important because that means it's not going to be limited for me. It's not going to be just people in my friends list that are seeing this. It's going to be worldwide and anybody that's on Facebook. So that's really important to do. Just always make your posts public if you're talking about, now obviously if I'm talking about my children or, you know, posting a picture of my little boy or things like that that are personal to me, I'm going to make that just my friends list. Okay.
So Dawn, I have a question at this point. May I ask you?
Of course.
So how would, you said it's public, it's now worldwide, anybody could see it. How would they see that?
So because it's public, it can be in anyone's newsfeed who is a part of Facebook. Anyone's newsfeed. Now, you bring up a very valid point and a question that there are some algorithms in place, and I won't get into that specifically, but there are some algorithms in place that really are preventing people from seeing everything. And I'll give you an example of that. So I posted something on my business page, on my fan page, and I probably got 5 likes on that post. And I'll share with what likes are in a second. But I got 5 people to look at that and click the like button to say, oh, that's cool, that's interesting, whatever. 5 people. Mm-hmm. On my fan page, I literally have about 2,200 people who have joined my fan page. But I'm sure they may have seen that post at some point or other. Maybe they didn't. I don't know that they're seeing it, but I only got 5 people responding. So there's some algorithms in place that are preventing people from seeing everything you do. What I have learned is the people that I interact with the most on Facebook, they always see my posts. Okay, if I'm liking their posts, if I'm commenting on their posts, if I'm engaging with them in any way, we are going to see each other's posts a lot more often. So the people that you interact with the most are the ones who are going to see it. So yes, even though you set it to public, it does not mean a lot of people are going to see it. That's why hashtags are important, I think, because if we're all doing the same hashtags, you know, it's going to get more momentum. It's going to be seen by more, things like that, because there's a lot of people using these hashtags, right? So it's going to be seen by more people. All right, so I'm going to go on. I'm going to post that. And then it shows up in my timeline. Okay. If someone else now goes to Facebook, if they're friends with me, if we interact a lot, they will more than likely see this pretty quickly.
What controls the size of that picture?
It's just how the picture was created itself.
Okay.
Sometimes if my picture is too large, like sometimes I'll have this size picture here, okay, in my cover. Mm-hmm. It's a really long, wide picture. It's not going to be displayed like this in my post. It does shrink it to almost a perfect square, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And you know, you can certainly play with your pictures and things like that. The thing is, if we click on that, I will be able to see the full thing. So I see the full border around the sides and the bottom. You know, if you actually click on the photo, you'll be able to see more of it. So that's fine. I don't mind that so much. All right, now see, I've already got 1 person who's liked this already. So this is telling me that, oh, 2 people. Hey, Tina. So this is people liking this particular post of mine. Okay, they've gone up here, they've clicked the like button.
Okay.
Simple as that, okay? I can tag this picture. People do that a lot. Like I could tag you, Joe. I could tag Corey. I could tag people that are in Cooler Brands.
All right. So
What does that mean?
what does tag mean?
Tag simply means that I'm going to put people on this picture with me. Okay. Then it's going to show up in their news feed, in their timeline. It's going to show up on their wall because I've tagged them in it.
Okay.
Some people do that. Some people don't. You don't have to. That's just a basic of posting. Now I can see more people are liking it as we go. Okay. That's pretty cool. I tend to like and comment on most people's posts that I see, especially in Cooler Brands, but also not in Cooler Brands, right? So I'm trying to get exposure for Cooler Brands. I'm trying to get other people interested in what it is I'm doing. So I'm going to like and comment a lot of other posts that have nothing to do with Cooler Brands because I want to start that communication with other people who are not with us yet. Okay, so for instance, this lady here, she shows up on my newsfeed a lot because I interact with her on. Now she actually tagged me in this post. Okay, you know, which I don't know her personally. I don't know why she did that because I don't really know her, but I do interact with her on her post. Okay, so I'll comment, I'll like her post, things like that. That gets people engaged with you personally. And then from there, you can start conversations about, well, what is it that you're doing? You know, how is your business? How's it going? And you can just start communicating with people that way and then kind of lead into what it is you're doing. Because if they talk about them and you allow them to do that, they typically, I have found, always ask you about you and what it is that you're doing. And then there's the lead in. Then you can tell them, well, I help entrepreneurs. You know, I help people work from home. And then you just kind of go into that. So it's a great way to get engaged with people that you don't really know. Facebook is wonderful. I mean, there's people from all over the globe on Facebook. So the doors are just wide open.
By posting on Facebook with Cooler Brands, what is your hope and plan that what happens with the posts?
My goal for now, and there's different seasons, and I may change this down the road, but for right now, I'm trying to get as much exposure as I personally can. Okay, we call it using our social footprint. Okay, I have 4,000 friends. I don't know all of these people personally. That's not what this means. That simply means that through businesses and other things that I've been involved in, I have become connected with other people on Facebook. So I have a list, if you will, of these 4,000 people, right? These are leads for me. So by getting engaged with them and, of course, sharing about Cooler Brands, we want to get the word out. We want that momentum. We want people to know about us and who we are. We're getting bigger and bigger as we go. So this is definitely helping us to do that by posting all about Cooler Brands, using these hashtags, posting videos about Jeff, and getting some excitement built and getting some you know, just people don't know about him. They don't really know he's involved with Cooler Brands. So we're really doing a push right now to make that happen. And, you know, Facebook is one of those means. We're doing Twitter, we're doing Pinterest, we're doing Instagram, we're doing a lot of different social media. But yeah, mainly it's a lot of things. It's to get leads. It's to get people that aren't in Cooler Brands that I can share with them. You know, it's getting momentum for our company, getting momentum for our projects that we're launching. I mean, we've got some really amazing products and projects that just aren't out there. So getting exposure for those is the key, you know, to using Facebook for me.
So what is your message to a brand new person and they say, I don't know anything about Facebook? What would you, and you say, well, it is one of the ways that we can, as you said, you know, develop a database and start communicating with people. Certainly it's not the only way, but it is certainly a way for people to begin. And what would we want to tell them to say, okay, here's how you get started with learning Facebook so that you can start building a database that you can communicate with people. And at that point, look, again, I'm going to go back to Jeff Hoffman's training on Saturday.
Mhm.
One of the things he said was, we're not looking for everybody here at Cooler Brands. Peter talks about it all the time. If you've been through the class, you understand that one of the things that I've always taught is don't try to interest people in anything. Find the interested people.
Absolutely.
The only way to do that is to expose them to something that says, this is what I wanted you to see.
Exactly.
And find out at that point, do we have an interest? Is there a mutual bond here or mutual thoughts? Are we on the same page is the terminology I like to use. Are we on the same page? Once you see what it is we have, are we on the same page? And I can tell you this, one of the key things in business is when you're with a company, and again, let's use Cooler Brands as an example. It's not about finding that person, then all of a sudden rattling everything off about Cooler Brands. It's about finding out first, are you interested in learning how to manage a successful business from home? And I think in the future, you're going to hear that from somebody big in our company, that, you know, it is finding the interested party first. Are they interested in truly managing a business from home? Now, people might be interested in Cooler Brands from a, you know, helping inventors and crowdfunding point of view, but maybe they never want to build a business. They don't care about that.
Right.
And that being said, why would we sit and explain everything about making money at Cooler Brands if they don't have an interest? So the bottom line is initially, and most people are not clear on this. That's why they blab away about the company and royalties and how, not realizing just because you're talking don't mean they're listening.
That's exactly right.
We have to find the interested parties, Dawn. That's what we have to find. And what interest in what? Interested in learning how to be successful working from home, period.
Exactly. And by us posting about Cooler Brands, you know, we're really doing that. We're getting a lot of interest outside of our community. And the way we know that is because people are commenting on our posts, right? So they're liking our posts. So if somebody likes my post, okay, and they're not already a community member, I am probably going to reach out to them and I'm going to say, hey, thank you for liking my post.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just going to start a conversation with them because obviously they have shown that they're interested in something I'm doing.
Yep.
Okay. That's the only way I know, though. People may see this all day long, but if they don't comment or like on it, I don't know that they're interested, right? So that is key. That is, I love what you said there. You know, I heard that too from Jeff, and I really loved that. It took a lot of the stress off, honestly. You know, it's not my job to convince anyone of anything. I want to find those really interested people who want what we have and are willing to work and make it happen. You know, there's lots of people who have joined Cooler Brands who don't really know what to do and they're not doing anything at all. I think that it's been said before, there's only about 200 or 300 people that are actually even active.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why that is. I mean, I don't know if they don't really understand what we have, if they don't know what to do to get started. I don't know the reason. But, you know, a lot of people can join a lot of things for a lot of reasons and never do anything with it. It happens in every company. You know, we've all been there.
Well, I think the problem with that, Dawn, is clearly there is a lack of understanding on what to do, number one. Number two is some of the people joined with what I said before. They're only interested in pledging, and that's what they do that, and they really don't have an interest in working from home. And we have to discover that. That's why when you go to welcometocoolerbrands.com, you see those questions.
Right, exactly.
If you work with your new person and identify, okay, I know that you joined, but I had that happen to me yesterday. And after explaining a little bit about, you know, now the person's in, it would happen to be someone that registered under someone else, one of my people. And I happened to connect with them and walk them through a few things. And I was already told they're not interested in building a business. They only want to crowdfund. They know a little bit about Kickstarter. And I said, great. Mike, after I walked them through, helped them pledge and do this stuff, then it was a matter of understanding that, you know, they can share this. And by doing that, there's rewards. And once I said that, their ears popped open. But it wasn't the beginning. You know, it was what they wanted to do. We have to honor. And that's, I think most people in most companies will do nothing. Jeff said that. It doesn't matter. 99%. I'm saying 97% don't make any money. It's because of a few things. A lot of the people don't have a chance because they don't know what to do. Of course, that's where the network class comes in, to understand that and go find those people and give them a chance. Otherwise, they're saying no.
Sure.
I like this picture here. I like this one with the coffee. We should use that for the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I do like that too. That's a good one. So just to let you guys know, the reason we're really focused on social media right now, it's crucial for one of the pools that's fixing to open up. It's going to be the social branding and marketing pool. It's not quite open yet. We're hoping to open it any day now with Doug's software that he created for us. And we're going to do, some training on that. We're going to help everybody understand that and get through it and know how to use it. So don't have any fear about that. It's going to be well trained. But we're going to have to use social media to get those points in that particular pool. So we're really trying to do a push here on social media and helping everybody understand it, helping everybody get familiar with it, get comfortable with it, so that we can show everybody what to do to get those points, because that's going to be really important for that pool. You're going to want to do that. It's one of the free pools that we have. That's a big deal. So yeah, any questions at all about Facebook, I'm willing to answer them if you want to open it up and let anybody ask
Shirley, do we
questions.
have any questions on the I don't have that page open, so I can't see any. Do you have any
Well,
questions?
first I want to know, is it important to have a fan page?
There's yes and no. The reason I'm saying that, the reason I'm laughing is because we had a small discussion about that. I had always been taught, and I'm not saying that what I'm taught was right or wrong, okay? This is just what I knew and what I came to understand. I always thought that if I had a business, that I should definitely have a fan page specifically for that business, because I have a lot of friends on my personal friends list, and they're not interested in my business. They're interested in me, my life, my kids, our vacation, my home, holidays. Okay, they want more personal interaction. They're interested in me and my life. They're not interested in my business. So when I was posting on my personal wall about Kula Brands or whatever business I was in and doing a lot of posts there because that's all I had, I got a lot of people to unfollow me and unfriend me because they don't want to see that. They're not interested. If all they see is business, 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 and join this and join that, it turns them off. They don't care. They're not looking for what I have. Okay, so they're going to unfollow me. So at that point, I did create a fan page, and now I have a specific set of followers, and I'll just show you my fan page real quick.
Explain a fan page to people for those that don't know what it is. I created a fan page years ago because of the same thing. That's what I was told, and that's what I created a fan page. So explain to people what a fan page is.
Absolutely. So down here you can see that you can create. This is when I go to my home screen. Okay, my home is my news feed. This is where I see everyone else that I'm friends with and the groups that I follow and things like that. So on the left here, if you see create here at the bottom, there's create an ad, create a page, which is what I have in my fan page, and create a group. The groups are like the Kula Brands community group, the new social media group. These are our specific groups for our business and community. So you just create a page, okay, and I can walk through that at some point if anybody needs help with that. Just for lack of time, I just didn't want to actually create one. So if I go to my actual fan page, now here I can feel free to post whatever I want about my business, whatever I want to do, okay? Because the people who are following this particular fan page, so by following, I mean there's 1,600 likes. So these people like my fan page and they want to know more. They want to follow what I'm putting here. Okay, they want to see more about what it is I'm doing and the journey that I'm on. So it's a lot like your own personal Facebook wall. Typically post about my business, okay? And nobody's going to be turned off. Nobody's going to be unfollowing me because they're all here for the same reason. They want to know more about what it is I'm doing. I will show you this post. I think a fan page is important because, you know, I can post specifically about what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking for people who really want to have a home business. I can reach out to them specifically. You know, I can be very intentional in those posts, right? And it's welcomed. They're receptive to it. So I think it's important. Others don't think so, and that's totally fine. Everybody's going to have their own way of doing things and their own perception of it and their own ideas, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. For me, this works. For me, this has been very successful. I don't know if you can see, I have, like just today, I have 81 notifications, which means somebody has either liked a post or commented on it today. I have 26 messages. These are messages about wanting to know more about what it is we're doing here in Kula Brands. I've been getting these daily, and that's wonderful, and it's exciting. And now I get to, these are leads, okay? These are basically leads. I get to reach out to these people and say, you know, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're doing already? This is what we have. You know, I can be very direct and go through Joe's script with them individually, because these are brand new people I don't know. So I can take his script and I can use it, and I can see if they're really interested, what their interest level is, and that kind of thing. So, you know, this is just the way I do it.
Let me clarify something. When you say we go through the scripts, I want to make sure that people understand that it's not robotic. It's not that she's pulling out a slip and word for word doing something. Yes, you do learn these things word for word so that you can, at any given time, because the information is in your head, the script is in there, so that you're able to spontaneously respond. And so that you don't have to worry about, you know, making something up. You already know the answers, and therefore you can pull from that script. That's what she's talking about. She's not talking about grabbing a piece of paper and reading word for word and making sure it's correct. What she's talking about is she knows the information now. She knows how to respond when someone says, well, look, oh, I didn't know what that was. I'm really not interested in that. Thanks. I mean, it's almost like most people would get stunned and not know where to go, or start saying, well, wait a minute, you don't understand. Let me explain more. How about if you listen to this? Instead, Dawn would never go down there now. She knows exactly what to do with that and say, hey, I'm comfortable with that. I just didn't find the interested party. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But she knows how to actually deal with that now.
Exactly. Okay.
Wesley Wright says, so in order to get points for Kula Brand postings, we have to use the hashtag Kula Brands to get them.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. No, I did not mean to mislead anyone there. We actually do not know how the points are going to be accumulated yet. We haven't seen that pool opened up yet. We haven't been instructed on that pool and what it's going to take to get points in that pool and how many points we're going to be able to get. We don't know that information yet.
Let me give it
I was saying.
Yeah, go ahead, Dawn. Sorry.
No. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say, let's just answer Wesley with this. Dawn is correct. We don't know. But let's just say, hypothetically, let's say that every day for 10 days, you went in and posted. What's going to happen? You're going to be able to go to your back office. You're going to click on, let's say, a Facebook icon in your back office, which will attach it to you. It'll bring you to your Facebook page. A Facebook page, and you will log in. Now, it's tracking you. That software is tracking you that you are now in Kula Brand, in Facebook, and Kula Brands knows you're there. Okay, the software knows you're there. You go do the post, And what's going to happen is you're going to get what Doug always says, a portion of a point. Let's say you get 1/10, and every 10 you do, you get 1 point. I don't know that that's true, but let's just say that were true. Maybe you did 10 posts, you did one every day, or you did maybe a couple a day, and you're going to be limited to how many. You can't sit there and do 50 and end up with, 10 points. You won't be able to do that. But let's just say every 10 creates a point. Maybe it's every 20. So you might have to do it a couple times a day for 10 days. But what's the big deal? It's going to take you, the time it's going to take is go to your back office, click on the icon. It takes you to Facebook, log in, do the post, and you're done. And that's what happened last night with the gentleman I spoke with who did not know that, who said he didn't want to be involved. Because guess what? He doesn't really know how to talk to people, obviously, about Cooler Brands. He doesn't want to do that. Who would want to if they didn't know, right? But in this company, you're going to be able to go to Facebook on your own, go bang, 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 and do things in the back office. Don't have to talk to a soul. And guess what? In the branding marketing pool, you're going to get royalty points that will be there forever.
Okay, Catherine says instead of a fan page, you can create lists on your personal page and create custom posts.
That is another great point. Yes, that is another way people are doing it. Basically, what she's saying is from your friends list, you can create a specific targeted group of people. Okay, so I can create a list, of just direct salespeople. Okay, people in all those companies like Miriam and Posh and whatever companies there are out there. I can create a list just for them. And then when I post, I can actually select that group or list that I have created. Okay, that's ingenious. That's another great way to do it. That way, only those people are going to see that post, not everyone. So great point.
Yeah, thanks, Kath.
Tina wants to know, how do you get people to like your fan page?
Well, there's a couple of ways. I started out early on. Now, I've had this fan page for a while. I've had a couple of different businesses, and it has kind of morphed. Now it's all Cooler Brands. That's all I'm focusing on. So when I first created it early on in a couple of businesses ago, I would put it out there and just ask people that were in my company, please go like my fan page. I created this fan page, please go and like it, show me some love. And they did. Okay, then when I switched companies and I started doing something else, I did the same thing. Please like my fan page. That tends to work really well. People that are working with you want to support you. So that's one way to definitely do it. Now I do not recommend this, okay? I am not saying you need to do this. I'm one that doesn't have a lot of money, so I don't typically do this because I don't spend money on advertising, okay? But early on, this is what I did. I promoted my page, okay? You just simply go here and you promote it. Okay, and we can get into that at a later time if anybody is interested in doing something like that. Simply what that means is I'm going to pay, say, $20 in advertising dollars. Okay, I would set a limit for sure. And I would target a specific group of people. Okay, you can target it for a different country, multiple countries. You can target it for lots of different things. Okay, people that have the same interest. You can put, specific interests like entrepreneurship, work from home. You can specify that. And then because you're paying for that, Facebook takes that seriously and they put it in front of those people. Okay? They'll also put it on your sidebar here. And you'll see this a lot as you're in your own Facebook. You'll see, you might see a post. So right here, this is sponsored. That simply means this person took this post and they promoted it. So it's now sponsored. They're paying for you to see it. And hopefully, the hope is you'll see this, you'll click on it, you'll go to their post or you'll go to their page and you'll like it. That's worth something to them. Okay, now they can communicate with you more often. They can share things with you. So I did that early on, and that's how the numbers just kept growing and growing. And, Now I simply make sure that I put my post as public. I try to, include my fan page. Something that I do a lot is, I don't see one in particular right now, but you'll see a lot of people that post their own, they'll have their own post of share your fan page, or, do you have a group page? Do you have a fan page? Whatever. I get a lot of those, and I will actually reply and comment with my fan page, right? That gets those people in that post to see my fan page, and they usually go and like it right away. I have gotten hundreds and hundreds of followers just by doing that. Just by commenting on somebody else's post, because they're asking, what is your fan page? So that's really great, to just connect with other direct marketers, connect with other network marketers. We're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to grow our business and get exposure. So if I help them, they're really gonna too. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. All right, let's recap. We're at the top of the hour, so let's do a few things here. Let me do that. Okay, so let's recap a little bit. Number one is, let's just put this message. Don't worry about your why if you don't really have an emotional why attached to this. That will come. You just work on it. That's all, and figure out the why of what you want to do. I mean, whatever it is you're doing, put some type of emotional attachment to it. And if you don't have one, it's okay for now. Concentrate on what it is you need to do to get the job done. You have to figure out your whats, whens, wheres, whys, and work that out. Your goal really should be, right now, it should be, what do I want to accomplish in the next 30 days? What you want to do is income generating activities, not filing for your business and getting new inspirational messages out. It's about making appointments with people to explain what Kula Brands is about, and finding out if you have an interested party. That's what you need to be doing. 30 days, how you're going to do it, where you're going to do it, what activities are going to cause that. You should be making appointments on a regular basis. If you're working 2 days a week, those days have to be dedicated to making appointments. That means people that you have agreed to look at the information. It's a video, it's something you're giving them, and then scheduling time to get back with them to see if you truly are on the same page. That's the first part. Secondly, this learning what Dawn has just explained, the basics of Facebook. If you're not familiar with it, to make sure that you can review this, you'll get a replay here and go back over it and understand it. Number three is that you share this replay link with people who you, in your organization, in this company, that needs to hear both things, to get relaxed about their why, to understand how to start planning a what, and then understanding this phase of finding more people. Imagine if all of us had 4,000 followers like Dawn does and can communicate effectively, and within there, find a couple of people per month. Your goal should be, I want to sponsor, I want to influence, I want to recruit, whatever it is you call it. We call it influencing here, 2 people by the end of the month. This is February, the end of the month. Can you truly say, I have sponsored or influenced 2 new people and got them started? So with that, don't forget about one things that people don't know, Dawn, is that between you and Shirley and a handful of other people, we are on a call every Wednesday and Thursday night. Guess what we're doing, everybody? People are learning and getting advanced education on what Dawn talked about earlier, being comfortable talking with people, understanding, learning how to answer questions. We do a good call on those nights to make sure that the group that went through the training, the communication class, are up to speed and they ask good questions, and we get a lot accomplished on that. So Dawn, any final words before we close?
Yes, I would love to say that in our own Kula Brands back office, we have some amazing training. Okay. Take a look at that. Go through that training. It's all on social media. You're going to learn a lot. Corey just did an amazing video just a couple of days ago about sharing a YouTube video. That's very important to do. You know, take a look at all of those things, and we'll do more training. We'll do more calls like this and walk through some other stuff. But you know, take advantage of what we have, guys. It's in our back office. It's readily available. It's free. Just, you know, take a look at it and do it.
Well, Dawn, thanks for being here today. We appreciate your training. We are looking forward to more. We'll be talking a little bit later, and then we'll see everybody next week. Don't forget about Wednesday nights and Thursday nights, our Cooler Brands calls. One is the, you know, sharing the information on Wednesday nights. Thursday night is a members only call, which means if someone has seen anything about Cooler Brands, you could invite them to that call as well. So with that being said, once again, thanks for being here, Shirley. Thanks for always managing us properly, and we'll see everybody next week at the Breakfast Club. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Shirley.